Beats Studio Buds. You didn't see these coming. I didn't see these coming. They are at the same time very Apple and a departure from Apple or Beats by Dre's recent earbud releases. And while y'all may have forgot about Dre, this time around, Dre definitely didn't forget about Droid. So, who are these for? How do they sound? Are they overpriced or overhyped? After all, we've already seen several celebs wearing them. I'm gonna get into all of that. Let's go. So, let's get right into who these are for and what they're all about. At $150, they're a step in a different direction for the company who's moved their product with the aid of celebrity endorsements and at premium prices. With LeBron and others rocking these recently, the former hasn't changed, but the whole premium thing has. Feature-wise, the Beats Studio Buds still sit somewhere in the premium tier, but at a more approachable price point. What compromises did Apple have to make to bring a more approachable set of buds to market? Let's talk about the hardware. Apple sent me the red version of the Beats Studio Buds, but they come in white and black as well. Here's a comparison of their case with the AirPods Pro case and the Power Beats Pro cases. Though not as small as the AirPods Pro, they are a welcome change from the Power Beats, which are back pocketable, but are still massive by comparison. One of the big changes with the Studio Buds is that the case uses USB-C for charging instead of Lightning, and you aren't gonna get wireless charging like you did with the AirPods Pro. Now, let's take a look inside. The first thing you'll notice is that the Studio Buds have a different design language than the AirPods or the Power Beats. No stems or ear hooks, but you do get this grab bar with a B on it. You can use that to pull them out of the case, and you'll need that real estate to get a solid grip on them because the magnets holding them inside the case are strong. Yeah, I said strong. With the lid open, there's likely no chance that these are gonna fall out. Holding the earbuds by the grab bar, you seat them in your ears. They come with 3 sizes of silicone tips, 2 in the box with the mediums installed by default. In addition to the extra ear tips, you're going to get a short charging cable, a bit of paperwork, and a Beats sticker. With regard to who these are for, all you need to do is look at the Google Play Store. Yeah, that's a Beats app. Download that and you're going to get identical functionality to those using iPhones, with one caveat. These controls are built into iOS. But beyond that, download the app, pair your buds, get Google Fast Pairing support in the process, and you're good to go. So, who are they for? Everyone equally. But what are they like to use? Well, keeping the DNA of previous Beats earbuds, the controls are mechanical instead of touch-based, which means those grab bars with the B are your surface for clicking to play, double clicking to skip forward a track, triple clicking to skip back, and a click and hold to change the sound mode from noise canceling to transparency mode or everything just off. I actually like these mechanical buttons as opposed to capacitive touch-based interfaces because you get less accidental presses. Here's my initial field test of the noise cancellation. I sat across the street from a major construction site where there was also quite a bit of traffic zooming by. I'm sitting out here across from a bunch of traffic. Of course, it's kind of slow at this exact moment. It was faster, but I'm sitting in looking at listening to all this construction. I'm with the new Beats Studio Buds and just testing out the noise cancellation and the transparency modes. Really solid so far. Of course, I'm hearing the hammering. As I've been sitting out here for a while, I'll hear the hammering. Those are on the higher end of the spectrum. You're gonna get that with most active noise canceling, but the hum of the traffic, the lower end hum of engines, that type thing, all hushed significantly. Pretty solid go for the first listen, my first taste of the Beats Studio Buds. For a more empirical test of the noise canceling, I sat in a post-production suite with 81 decibels of airplane cabin noise coming from the speakers overhead and went between the Beats Studio Buds, AirPods Pro, and the Galaxy Buds Pro, all with noise canceling activated. The Beats Studio Buds fared well and did a solid job of diminishing that cabin noise. The other two devices did do a more thorough job though, with the primary difference being that the Studio Buds allowed more of that high-end, higher-pitch engine noise bleed through, along with more perceived loudness from the engines. But again, the pair did a good job of minimizing cabin noise overall, and for $100 less than the AirPods Pro. On the opposite end of noise cancellation is transparency mode. My day job is in a busy broadcast TV newsroom, so my way of testing these is weirding out my coworkers, who are probably a bit used to it by now, and walking around with the earbuds in my ears for the majority of my shift. And I must say that these are going up there among my top buds or headphones for audio pass-through. Incoming sound, perceived loudness is definitely lower, meaning with some buds I've tested, people talking to me sounded just as loud and clear as if I didn't have earbuds in my ear. Very few, only a couple, 2 or 3 maybe, but with the Beats Studio Buds, people sounded just as clear as if I didn't have earbuds in my ear, even in one instance where someone was talking to me as they walked down a hall, walking away from me. I was surprised at how clear and audible they were as they were getting further down the hall from me. Now, they did sound just as clear. They definitely didn't sound as loud as they would have with no earbuds in. Now, it's important to note that these sound tests were with no music playing. On that airplane, if you have music actually playing, you'll be just fine, as it's going to drown out the remaining bit of that cabin noise. With the transparency mode activated, if someone talks to you, your ability to hear them will be affected by how loud you have your music playing. I recommend pausing the music for conversations and lowering the volume for wearing while out on the streets. Being aware of your surroundings on the streets is important, so lower that volume and let the outside world be the primary sound and your music complementary. Speaking of complementary music, let's talk about the actual sonic experience where your jams are concerned. I used an iPhone X and Galaxy Note 20 Ultra to test these earbuds, and the results on both platforms were great. On iPhone, I listened to Apple Music. Side note, these don't support lossless, but you can listen to Dolby Atmos selections. On my Note 20 Ultra, I listened to Apple Music as well, but added a little Tidal and then played some high-res FLAC files locally from the device itself. Now, Beats gets a lot of flack for how they used to sound, but anyone who's been following since the introduction of the Beats Solo Wireless 3s knows that they've come a long way in creating a more balanced sound profile. It's still colored toward those who prefer a warm sound at the bottom end, but the clarity at the top and separation between the lows and mids are definitely respectable. One of the tests I like to run headphones and buds through is how they handle one of the grimiest, muddiest tracks known to man, Method Man to be exact, and that track is Biscuits off his 1994 album Tshaka. Craptastic earbuds can't handle that deep, dank bass this track spits out, and the vocals are just in the basement in terms of clarity. However, when I've listened to the track on headphones worth their hype, the listening experience is a very different flavor of jam on them biscuits. The Beats Studio Buds handled that track at max volume with no distortion and reproduced vocals which were clear given the muddy production. And that max volume is loud. On both devices I tested, I had to keep the volume around 70%. Next, there was the Dolby Atmos remastered Art Blakey track, Moanin'. Here's where I had an issue. The horns on this Atmos track in my left ear were quite shrill. Everything else was fine in that Atmos soundscape and sounded fantastic. I tried the track on both devices and streamed from both Apple and Tidal with the same result. Now, I listened to non-Atmos tracks which had great acoustics and some tracks whose focus was a vocal arrangement and didn't experience that shrill reproduction or any sibilance. It must have been a thing with how that track was mastered on Atmos. Down to the River to Pray off of the Oh Brother Where Art Thou OST, and Paul Simon's Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes, as well as Esperanza Spalding's I Know You Know, all sounded fantastic. Solid soundstage that was airy and detailed for earbuds, and tuning which didn't kill the layers of Ladysmith Black Mambaza's harmonies or the higher register of Alison Krause's folksy rendering of Down to the River to Pray. If biscuits and diamonds aren't your jam, but podcasts are, I found the buds to be a delight, imbuing speakers' voices with a warmth that was pleasing to listen to. So, where would I put the latest offering from Apple's Beats brand in terms of AirPods Pro to $40 Amazon earbuds? Just below the AirPods Pros for Apple ecosystem features and sound quality. In terms of pricing to features though, or value, I'd actually rank them higher. Why? You get a lot for $150, and though definitely audible, I don't think the differences are so stark that many non-audiophiles will immediately notice them. So Android users looking for a good pair of high-end earbuds with a transparency mode, you now have a great option out there that should be on your short list. And iPhone users who don't want to spend the money on AirPods Pros but want premium playtime minus the premium price, something more than standard AirPods, look no further. Boom, bap, that is that. If you have any questions that I didn't answer about the Beats Studio Buds, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. I'll get to them. Love chatting with you all. You're a great group of people. I'm Tshaka Armstrong for reviews.org. We don't take it lightly that you spent your time watching with us. I'll catch you on the next video.